Alright, let's get those drums in tune, shall we? What I'm going to do first is explain the tools I'm using. And we're going to change out a couple of tom heads. And we're going to hear what they sound like. So, without any further ado, here we go. Obviously, we've got the drum. We have the two heads. We got the two heads that we're going to swap out. We have a microfiber cloth. I would always go with a microfiber cloth, but you'll see what I'm going to do with that in a moment. Drum key. I use two of them. This is the Remo drum key. I use two of these when I'm tuning. Drum key in a drill. You're probably going, why do that? Actually, most of you will probably go, oh, I get that. So you'll see why I'm going to use a drill in a moment. Do you have to use a drill when you're tuning drums? No, not at all. I went many years without using a drill. This just helps to take drum heads off faster. I never use this to tune, and you're going to see that in a minute. A stick. We want to tap the drum and make sure it's in tune. So, without any further ado, let's get this thing going. I'm going to start with my floor tom. 16-inch by 16-inch floor tom. And then I will be going to my 10-inch tom. You might think, wow, that's a big difference. And the reason I set that up that way is I was trying something new. I saw Benny Greb do it, and I go, does that actually, his drums sound great. Is that a new thing that I might be into? And it's turning into a new thing I might be into. So that's the reason for the big difference. So without any further ado, I like to start with floor toms first. So that's what we're going to do. So let me take this top head off. We're going to replace that head. And again, like I said, I like to take it off with a drill because it's just faster. Boom. Now, why do we switch out drum heads? They start to lose their sound. This one's kind of got a... Hopefully you can hear that. I'm trying to aim that at the microphone on the camera. That, compared to a brand new one, hear how that one's got like deeper tone? Used head. It's gone. Okay, now before I put this head on, I like to take a microfiber cloth, and before I actually do that, I'm going to check to make sure that there are no splinters on the bearing edge right here. Now don't clamp your fingers down because you don't actually want to put a splinter in your finger. That would suck. And then I take a microfiber cloth and wipe it down. Make sure that there's no gross stuff in the drum, which there is not. But I'm just double checking. Next, I want to make sure that just things are clamped down and not rattling. And I know I had a rattle over here. Okay, so outside of that, all right, looking pretty good in there. Next, we're going to put the drum head on. Now, I like to take, especially on the floor toms, and I'll explain why it's different for me on tom-toms, but floor toms, I'm going to put the brand logo, whatever brand you use. I use Remo. I'm endorsed by them, or I endorse them. I like to put the Remo towards where the badge is, and you can't see it on the film right now, but the badge is right down here. So, I'm going to put that on there. Make sure it's squared up with the badge. Alright, looks like it is. Fantastic. Then I'm going to put the rim back on. Whatever you do, don't lose your tension rods. By the way, these are not lugs. These are called tension rods. The lug is what the tension rod goes into, just in case you were wondering. So I know a lot of people will, especially a lot of younger students of mine, will be like, oh yeah, I took the lug out. And I'm like, no, you took the tension rod out. So these are called tension rods. They go inside the lug. The lug is what's attached to the drum itself. All right, so at this point, I got the rim on. And we're just going to put these in real easy. I'm not screwing them down all the way. I'm just putting them in one by one just to make sure that they're screwed in. That's it. I'm not screwing them down at all yet. Just making sure they are in the tension rod. They're not coming out. Okay, so good. Excellent. Now, here is where I want to use 2 drum keys. Now, you don't have to do this. I like to do it this way. I like to use 2 drum keys, get these in, and then I screw them down to sort of finger tighten them, just so that they've touched the rim. So I started here. Now, I'm not going to go to the very next one. I'm going to skip one and go here. So I started here. I'm skipping these and going to those. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing. And again, I'm not tightening them down. I'm just getting them so to where they touch the drum head. Okay? Or they touch the rim, not the head. Now, hey, there we are. So now, where do we go from there? Oh, we could skip, but hey, guess what? We're going to go to there. Got to go to the next lugs over. And I use 2 drum keys just to make this faster. That's all. You don't have to. I did it many years by just finger tightening the tension rods myself with my fingers. 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I find this to be easier, and for what I do, the cost of an extra drum key, buy 2 drum keys, you've already paid for it. They last forever, so there's no reason not to, but hey, if you want 1 drum key, go for it. Now, I've got these sort of screwed down, okay? Notice there's not really a big sound coming out. I'm just going to tighten them down just a little bit from every side, and then we're going to talk about the bottom head. I like to work with the bottom head, make sure that it's in tune with itself. I already know that it is. Okay? I know that it's in tune by itself. It's where I want it to be. If I was going to change this head out, change both heads out, I would definitely, again, start with the bottom head first and get it to that pitch, that tone that you want it to be at. Start there. I don't need to do anything with this right now. It's already there. So now what I'm going to do is flip the drum back over and let's start talking about the top head. Now, I'm going to take these 2 drum keys at this point and tighten things down a little harder by finger tightening. Okay? You're going to hear some cracking. I use a coated Remo Ambassador, which has like a little bit of a paint job on it, so you're going to hear cracking, and that's the difference between the paint job and the glue that's holding the mylar in place. So we're not cracking anything here, it's just holding it in place. And I'm just making sure that we have finger tightened this all the way down to where it's almost impossible to go any farther. Alright, so now we should have some sort of sound coming out of this. Okay, we have a pitch coming out. Now it's a real wonky pitch, but it's a pitch nonetheless. And it's very high. I don't tune my floor tom this high, and you'll get that in a moment. So now, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make sure that each one of these tension rods are the same sound all the way around the drum. That's my goal. Now, I set this on either the floor, I've got it on a table right now, or like a blanket or something, because I don't want to hear the bottom head when you do this. I want to hear this head, because check this out. Okay? If I pick the drum up, totally 2 different sounds, because you've got totally 2 different heads working together. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's try and get these. Now, I'm going to find whatever, and at this point, the tuning of the drum doesn't matter. You just want all the lugs in place. So at this point, I'm going to try and find which one of these tension rods is the highest pitch. So here we go. Now I'm going to place my finger in the middle of the head to kind of get rid of some overtones so that I get more of that top pitch. Hear that? I'm hearing. So what I'm hearing is these two and these two are lower pitched than these two and these two, and I'm kind of hearing this and this one is the highest pitch from my ears. So I'm going to start by taking these two and these two up. Just a little bit. This is not like a clamp down. This is just, you know, a little snug tuning up. That's it. And again, we're not trying to be perfect yet. Just trying to get them better. Much better, okay? Much better. Now, this is really high pitched at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little CPR. I got that term from Mike Johnson. Got to hand it to him for that, but I've been using it ever since I saw him say that, I don't know, a few months back. Anyway, so we want to stretch out the mylar because you don't want this thing to be pitched up. Get on the drum set, start playing it, and it's going doom, 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 and then all of a sudden you get doom, 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 doom. Mylar will stretch, okay, especially fresh. It's going to stretch pretty quick. Once you get it into that sweet spot, it hangs for quite a while. You still got to toy with fine tuning it, but it hangs in that spot till it becomes that drum head. Okay, so we just want to press down, and I'm pressing down around each lug, each tension rod. Okay, it is also quite possible you're going to hear more cracking there too. Totally fine, nothing is breaking. Okay, nothing is breaking at all. All right, let's see what we got tone-wise now. We're in pretty good shape. So now what I want to do is I want to back this drum head off to kind of get it more in place with where I normally play it. Right now it's quite high for me, so let's back this thing off. And again, I'm not going to like take one tension rod and really unscrew it. I'm going to take one tension rod and it's going to go in small increments like that to here. And remember star patterns, okay? Don't go to the lugs right next to each other. Cross the drum. That's what we're wanting. Now, I do that, we want to make sure that it's in tune. So far, so good. Let's take it down some more. Okay, now we're getting more in the ballpark. Let's see where we are. Oh, hold on. Oh, the top head is now lower. So, a lot of people, and I will admit this too, a lot of people say if you do this, you want your top head to be somewhere around a minor third lower than your bottom head. That's a great place to start to get used to doing this. What I say is I want it lower. I know where my bottom head is. This is now lower. My job now, it's in tune. I need to play it and go, is this where it's, do I like that sound? Because let's be honest, you can't sit there and go, it's gotta be a minor third lower than the bottom. No, it doesn't. It's got to be where you want it. And I just want to hear that pitch bend, and so that's why I tune the two heads at a different pitch. So let's see what we got here. Wow. I like that. I don't know how it's going to come out to you guys, but standing in this room right next to it, we're going with it. We are definitely going to go with it. All right, so, wow, there's my floor tom. Let's do that again. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's move on to the top tom, and that one's a 10-inch, so let's move ahead. All right, we're back. 10-inch tom, key back on the drill. I've already tuned the bottom head. Like I said, it was basically in tune when I took it off the kit. I just had one lug or one tension rod that I had to work with, and that was it, so I'm not going to touch that. So let's take off this top head now. Again, drill, key, quick, yeah, just makes this much quicker. Okay, so again, let's hear this. Here's a used, what kind of gross stuff was that? Didn't get in there, did it? No. Okay, so, woo, just sounds like, almost like a paper bag. Okay, so that's what we want. Now, for this drum, we're going to do the same thing, where we have to take our microfiber cloth. We're going to take our fingers and go, hey, is something wrong with the bearing edge? Again, don't push down. You don't want to get a splinter in your fingers if by some chance there are splinters. You just want to know that they're there so you can fix it. Okay, nothing. Let's take the microfiber cloth, make sure it's nice and clean. Clean the inside, even though there's nothing in there. Alright, so there we go. Now, remember on the floor tom I said I like to have my drumhead logo lined up with the logo of the drum company. On the top toms, because I go back and forth, I have two different bass drums with my kit, a 22 and a 20. The 22 is what's known as a virgin bass drum. It doesn't have a tom mount on it. So I need to have tom mounts on my cymbal stands. So what I tend to do, if I go back and forth between those two bass drums, whether I mount on the bass drum, meaning the mount will be either here, or if I mount, this is for me, from my vantage point, the mount will be here, or if I'm on a cymbal, if it's on a cymbal stand, the mount is here. So your logo is either going to be like this or like this. Okay, oh, actually more like this or like this, and that just drives me crazy. So if I put the logo with the mounting, that tends to, no matter where I set my drums, if it's on the 20-inch bass drum or if it's on a cymbal stand, it's always in a place I can go, okay, I can deal with that. So that's just a little OCD. In any case, I'm going to put that right there next to the mount. And let's put the tension rods in. Here we go. This is just like the other drum. There's no difference. You're going to see me just screw them in a little bit. No big deal. Oops. So they're all in. And we're going to do the same thing. Take our two drum keys and get them down next to the rim here. Now, here we are in that place. Guess what time it is, folks? It's time for a little CPR on this drum also to stretch out that mylar. No cracking, good. That one's a little up. There we go, that's better. Now, I already know it's still too high. Let's just double check it against the bottom head though, just for kicks. So, bottom head on this side, top head over here. Let's see what we got. definitely high. Let's bring it down. Again, not huge turns, just little increments. Okay, where are we here? So the top head is now lower than the bottom. Let's take a look, see what it sounds like. I really like that sound. I hope it's coming through. Again, we don't have like a good microphone on here. This is just the microphone on my camera, which is a decent enough microphone, but it's not one of those. So, all right. I am totally good with that. I'm totally good with the floor tom too. So, I hope this helped you out. We're going to put it back in the kit. We're going to just do overhead and see how we like it over there. And yeah, there we go. You guys, down in the comments section, do you like to tune? When you tune, do you tune both heads the same pitch? Or do you tune one head higher or lower than the other? Like I said, I started doing this, I don't know, a while back. And I'm digging that pitch bend sound now as opposed to more of a pure sound. I think if I was tuning jazz, I might want my toms to be the same top and bottom to have more of a pure tone. But for what I play, more rock music, more fusion, prog rock, that type of thing, you want it down. Okay, that's how I want. I want this more thick sound with a pitch bend. All right. So other than that, there we are, folks. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell so you don't miss any content. And until the next time, I hope you have a fantastic week. Take care, everybody.